Hi everyone, and welcome to I'm off. I'm already. This one's falling apart already because I'm not in the right guys. It can't get us into the Tetris shape here. Thank you, Dan. I know it is disgusting, but also it's heroic. Maybe
Is that Dan, our Dan?
that is our Dan.
Of course it is.
Dan, right before we went live, Philip looked straight to camera at me and told me about something, and it was very disturbing and upsetting.
Well, that sounds on brand for me. Hi everyone, and welcome to Strange Lore. This is a tale of planetary romance and pulp magazine drama and planetary romance.
I thought it was planetary.
It is planetary. I misspoke.
Oh. You could have told me that's a pronunciation. I would have believed
Planetary. It's the outcast. It's the total outcast of the situation. Have I ever told you that story, Liv? We're really doing a good job of having this be a short one and getting out on time. I, circa 2008, 2009, I was using the phrase outcast, like outcost, like the outcast, which I would use this at work and people would just go along with it. And what it meant was, it's not like the net cost. It's not like the net. It's everything you have to spend, basically. It's like everything you'd have to have on hand, even if you get some back. Even if it's like operating cost in certain ways, right? I would say outcost. No one bumped on it. No one was confused by it. In context, everyone just rolled with it, or just was like Philip's talking. Kept saying outcost. And people were saying, at some point, I don't know if it was, or actually, it might have just been me on my own being like, yeah, outcost. I realized that what I got it from was The Dark Knight. Because Alfred is talking about what Batman can. He says like Batman can be what they need. Batman can be the outcast. Well, what he was saying was outcast.
But he was saying it with an accent.
But because he was saying it, because of the context of what he was saying, it's like Batman can be like the price. Like, you can take it. Batman can be the outcast of this. So that's what I thought the planetary alignment was. That I would be the outcast.
It's true.
There's also, of course, Donzerly, but I think that's also in a book. But I certainly thought that when I was a kid. Like Donzerly meaning majestic, but like Donzerly, the Donzerly light. No, as in dawn's early. Guys,
I got it.
Since this is our one of our daytime games, although if you're on the East Coast, you're like, daytime, huh? Checks watch, 7 p.m. It's like it's 5 o'clock already here.
It's still light out. Sun doesn't go down for another 30 minutes or so.
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. Even though it's August, what if it were December?
It would also be dark where we are a little bit.
God damn it, you're right. All right, when would it be dark there and light here? So what I'm saying would work. When is 4 p.m., dark on the east, and light on the west?
Well,
I don't know.
Oh, Dan. Wait, I made such a joke last night.
Is this the mean one?
No, I made a joke about, I said last night, this was before we went live, or maybe this was live and I just said it and everyone, yeah, I think it might have been live. I made a joke where Pierce said some like really complicated, like ludocastic audio something phrase like this. And I said, you want to see my impression of Dan? And I said, ludocastic audio, I hardly know her. That was my impression of you. Because what was funny about my impression was I didn't do it when the word ended with an Okay. So, as the outcast of this game is being our time and sanity, let's go ahead and chat about what's going on here in the delightful world of strange lore. Last week, we had progress on one front, but then...
We didn't have a game last week. Nothing happened.
Well, that's the thing. That was going to be the plan, but then you guys messed with it at the end, so it's great. So, in the world of our sort of pulp magazine, Ted Fountain came in. He wrote a little bit more on the story of Corinna, alien princess of Tinnerval, and Alice Clifton, the human woman who'd sort of been transported there mysteriously. Human Olympian, multi-Olympian athlete. In the office, Cora and Louise were present. They had overheard Mr. Bliss making some suggestions that he make these women, who are two different species, sisters, so as nobody would assume there's any funny business going on. And Ted said, sure. In previous installments, Cora had been Corinna rather, is on the run for some reason, was living in obscurity, but then she decided she needed to once some trouble came up, she witnessed a strange deal between some of the Kaesgid elves and some of the Svaumen, sort of hairy aliens, and so she decided to leave the village she'd been in, head on the run. She was followed by some of the druids of the civilization there, who were kind of like the top priests, but then Alice Clifton arrived, and together the two of them managed to escape the druids, who seemed to be looking for Corinna. And seemed, when the ladies successfully convinced them that Corinna was not who they sought, they decided to kill them anyway. So that's when they had to go to some heroics and ride a copy behemoth to a nearby city, which they did. At that point, Ted wrote some more things. He wrote some more tales of them being in the city of Vice and Vycce, Vycce. He wrote some tales of that and their relationship growing, but at the end of the day, he kind of balled up everything he wrote and threw it away. So basically, we're just where we left off in the story of Corinna and Alice, with that they are about to go sort of on. They've reached a city and they're going to figure out their next moves. Whereas Cora found the pages in his wastebasket before emptying them, spread them out, read them quickly, showed them to Louise, and they discovered that Ted had written a romance between Corinna and Alice, or at least the beginnings of a romance. Corinna disguising herself as a male mystery alien, Alice pretending to be sort of the sort of companion or exotic alien love slave to the sort of purple-skinned elvish alien. They went into town. They met a very boorish mystery male who offered them a possible, escape, but meanwhile the ladies were really acting the part of being in love and constantly kissing and groping and such things, to Alice's delight, because that's what she thought, earlier she thought that's what Corinna wanted and is still kind of going for it, and Corinna's just like, oh well, I guess this is what we have to do. Upon taking a potential offer for this, Corinna realized there was a deep connection between her and Alice. She had Alice grip her staff. The staff began to thrum. Both of them found themselves in a sort of like within the cosmos, naked, limbs entwined, kissing more, and that is where the story stopped that Ted wrote. Clearly he was not going to be submitting this for publication, but Louise said, oh, I want to draw this, or I want to paint this, because Louise is the illustrator. I should mention, Louise is the illustrator at Strange Lore magazine, and Cora is the secretary there. So, with sort of Louise and Cora put on a fresh pot of coffee, and she pot of coffee. Let's put a giant pot of coffee. So Cora and Louise sort of stayed late that night, and perhaps Louise made a painting, but and I now realize I literally didn't do a thing I said we had to do for this week, and maybe. No, we don't. Neither of you are spreadsheet fans, so we won't do it on stream. Sorry to everyone out there who was ready for some hot spreadsheet action. We legit do need to give your characters like full character sheets, because originally my intention was that Cora and Luis were just kind of whatever characters, but now you actually do need to do stuff. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna start on that briefly, but at this time we will begin the next day. Lauren,
yes,
would you please roll me a D8?
Oh. I have one right here.
No one said you didn't.
I'm defensive for no reason, okay?
But why are you saying that so defensively?
A 1.
A 1?
Yes.
Great. So, it had been a very, very warm day the day before, but overnight, some sort of clouds came in, and the temperature has dropped. There might be some weather in the offing, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be like an unpleasant. It's not going to be like a thunderstorm or anything. Might be some light rain here or there, but for the most part, it is. The temperature has considerably lowered since yesterday. It is morning in the Premier Periodicals building. The elevators have been fixed. So, Cora, you can sort of report to work at your usual time. Luis, I'm going to ask you, and I know that I don't have it ready here. Please roll a D100. This will be sort of a basic vitality type roll for Luis. So we're going to do it even now, but you'll have better
68.
68. Okay, so Luis, you stayed up. Actually, Cora, would you roll one too? Roll a D100.
Oh, that's above my vitality.
It was going to be above. Well, and I'm kind of using a different thing than what you have. I'm using a baseline for that.
Got it.
What, Corinna? You're muted.
37.
37. Cora, you were up bright and early the next morning. Though you stayed up kind of late. We'll get into what happened. We'll get into I guess Louise, roll me another D100. This will also be retroactive.
97.
97. Wow, that's pretty rough, even for... I'm sure that Luis has very high art skills, like arts and crafts coordination and compose create, but I'm going to say that with a 97, and it getting sort of later and such, Louise, you did not... Basically, Louise stayed until late at night and could not get the art right.
Just wasn't.
She just couldn't...
Together.
They weren't... Did you say they weren't coming together? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay.
But
so we'll say that Louise, you were sort of up late and very frustrated, and you did not. You were not at work yet. You'll be arriving a little later. Cora, you are in the office. There's a few of the odd writers who may be future players we haven't introduced yet. A few of the other staff are there. Mr. Bliss is in at his usual time. You've gotten him his coffee, no problem. But he does look around and he says, "Where the hell is everyone? Where's Clay? Where's Fountain?"
Oh, I don't know. The weather changed overnight, so they might be suffering with some barometric pressure issues. That can happen. Did you want some more coffee? I'll go heat some more up. And she'll rush to the coffee pot and top it off.
He just starts kind of going over various things. Cora, you were here pretty late last night, and you know that Louise was getting very frustrated that she couldn't get artwork kind of to measure up to this. I would assume that the abandoned sketches she had, and she'll try again later, were discarded.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm kind of asking both of you, but yeah, I would imagine Louise is not going to leave that around. So,
and I'll double check just to make sure.
But Cora, I do have a question for you, which is, what have you done with the pages from the typewriter? What have you done with what Ted wrote?
I put them in my bag,
Understood.
so they're secure.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right. The morning goes on. I'm going to ask you now. Go ahead and you can roll for Alice's. I'll let you use your own luck score. Give me a luck roll, Liv. For old Louise.
84.
Yeah, Louise is
Your guys.
They've been rolling high all night.
I
I had
know,
to
yeah.
I had to do my skill stuff. And they were rolling high, but now they're rolling high in a bad way.
Bad news. Well, in any case, so Louise, we might even not see Louise in this opening scene, possibly at that point. However, certainly late, the door opens, and Ted Fountain sort of comes in. He looks kind of a little more. He doesn't typically look rumpled. He looks, he's not wearing like a super nice suit or anything, but he looks pretty put together. He looks a little rumpled today. He looks a little rough. And Cora, would you give me a look roll as he kind of just comes in?
74.
I think for you, yeah, you don't really notice anything at first. So he just sort of sits down and kind of like looks at
I'll
stuff.
go over it. with coffee.
Yeah, if you set a coffee down, he kind of just grunts at you, and then he kind of goes and talks to Bliss for a few minutes and nods and goes back over. He goes to his case. He pulls out a few pages and hands them to Bliss. And Bliss kind of starts reading through those. You're not sure what that's about, but he'll go back to his table. If you've left him coffee, he'll take a couple sips and just kind of, he sort of is slightly shifting his typewriter from its usual position, just kind of like hunching over it, and he's pulling out some paper, getting ready for his day.
Late night, Ted?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh. Well, I can see you just wanting some peace and quiet, so I'll just be doing my duties, and she'll just go tidy up.
With you getting closer to him like that, I think that you will notice once you're sort of there at the table, he's got a pretty serious black eye.
Oh no!
He maybe has a busted. He's got maybe a little cut on a lip as well.
Oh God! And she'll lean down so nobody else hears. Are you okay?
It's fine. Just.
I can run up to the other level to get you some ice for that eye. It's gonna swell.
It's. I had ice on it last night. It's fine.
Okay, well, you could use some today. Let me run up and get some. It's not a problem at all.
Fine.
Okay. She'll go up to where that fridge is that we talked about.
We did mention there is a fridge, yes. All right, yeah, you can grab some ice, wrap it up in a whatever, and bring it back down. He's just sort of smoking and looking over. So actually, as you come back in, he's walking over to Bliss, who's like, yes, Mr. Fountain, I think that actually a couple of these will work. It's something that Mr. Ullman wanted to try, so I think it's worth an attempt. But I do think there's probably other magazines it's better for, but I think we can use this one. And he's like, sure, sounds good. You want more like that too? No, focus on the Space Girl story for now. Yeah, and remember, sisters. Yeah. And he sort of walks over and sits back down and sees the ice and, picks it up and just kind of leans it against his face a little as he's looking through notes or things.
Ted, you don't have to tell me what happened, but if you want to talk about anything, I'm here. You know where to find me.
Yeah. Right, I know where to find you. Right where I left you.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you to it then. Just let me know.
Yeah. Thanks. He just kind of grumbles and goes back to right where he left off, and that is where we will begin with Corinna and Alice right outside the city of Vici. It's a small city, and Corinna, if you would please make, I think I had you roll. What did we have you roll last time to try to disguise yourself? Was it compose create? I think it was. Making compose create. Yeah. Let's see how she does it this version.
31.
So basically. So the story now begins with Corinna very effectively. You could spend 1 luck if you wanted to make that a hard success and not click it, or you could click it and go with a normal success, Corinna.
I'll go with normal.
Cool. So Alice, you sort of watch as Corinna now turns away from you and takes off her shirt and moves stuff around, and lo and behold, when she turns back, the figure she is cutting is now that of a slight sort of young man. Pretty similar. Thank you, Lauren. Pretty similar to human physiology are these mysteries. So she appeals like a real pretty boy.
Well, sure. Yeah, I guess I'd buy that.
Is it possible?
I mean, I'm not gonna be the best arbiter of.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, you look like a real fine gent.
Thank you. So just to let you know, should we encounter any men, I'm not sure about your species, but some can be rather chauvinistic. So I may be I do apologize. Maybe referring to you in certain ways that are maybe not kind. But
okay.
I don't want you to think, okay, I don't want you to think that it is coming from me. I just sometimes men, especially in these towns, in they don't treat people so well.
No, I think that seems to be pretty consistent across planets.
That's so unfortunate. I was hoping at least in another galaxy men wouldn't be that way, but it seems we can't escape it. Shall we?
Yes, let's keep going.
As you begin to enter the town with Alice sort of at your side.
Oh, can she subtly make her walking stick more like masculine?
Absolutely,
Because the way
yes.
that she would make it is a little more like cute and feminine. So I just want to make sure it's
Yeah,
like maybe more plain.
You could change the scepter. Ooh, let's have you roll. Make a. I'll let you do a science sorcery roll, but have a bonus on it.
Okay. 5.
A 5. Wow, great.
Yes.
That's a.
That's because of the bonus though.
It is, yeah. It is not vital, but it's highly extreme. So yes, with a great success, you kind of honestly, that, like, given what you've done to your clothing, you really like butch yourself up with this kind of, it has the mystery equivalent of barbed wire and like Ed Hardy, iconography over it. It's just real. It's like it just instantly starts to smell of Axe. Instead you make it a you transform the scepter to kind of something that you would do to a weapon, like a quarter staff, the kind of weapon that a young man might have walking from dangerous town to town. Something no one will object to. It's something that you might use to get like some toughs away from you, or if more likely if wild animals were to attack you. It's that kind of thing. So no one will bat an eye on it, but it is definitely you sort of scaled it in a way where you seem a little more masculine and such. Absolutely. So you have your as you do that, though, you do feel that as you're sort of manipulating the scepter very well with that extreme into this perfect thing, you also notice that, like, as it passes by Alice, there is this kind of it still is a thrum, but not like, you don't take it as like a thrum. It's just more of a thrum, as if. And I think I do want you to make another science sorcery roll, this one without a bonus. You can, however, always purchase bonuses using your power. That's something you guys haven't been doing much in Live. That's something that in your power regenerates 1 per hour. So you can, if you ever want to, you can buy a bonus or re-roll by buying power. You get it back 1 an hour. It's kind of like what the magic is in the Call of Cthulhu one that we've done. The Mercer.
I just always hoard my things.
I understand. In this game,
I have that bad mindset,
and
it's
tricky because if you also have to spend power to avoid taking damage in this game, so you don't want to like use it all. But kind of like for odd interactions, I think throwing one out here or there, you're gonna get it back each. It's not like D&D where you have to take a rest. You automatically get 1 back per hour.
Yeah. And it's just a regular success for me.
Regular success, great. With a regular success, you establish a pure correlation between you are confident that there is a connection between the staff and Alice.
I will not say anything.
Understood. So, as you guys enter the town, it is the bustling metropolis. It seems strangely familiar to viewers of this channel, but Corinna and Alice have not witnessed sort of the wild streets of this. They haven't seen Vici Hall in sort of the distance. As they're moving through, Corinna, are you heading to Vici Hall to just kind of like get your bearings? That's like the main sort of gathering point kind of sales thing. As you move through there, though, you hear a young man kind of calling out to you with a sort of a mystery accent. Well, what have we here? Hail, countrymen, and kind of a dashing mystery rogue sort of rushes over to you and says,
"Hail!" And she'll
you guys can do your
bring Alice next to her.
Understood.
Tightly.
So this guy has a sword on his belt. He looks kind of like swashbuckling. He says, "I don't think I recognize you. You must be a traveler from a far area. I thought I knew all the mystery in this place."
I don't recognize you either.
Ah! Well, if you don't know me by face, you likely know me by name. I am Lozos.
I am Karos.
Karos. Good to see you, Karos. He kind of...
You as well. And she'll go to do the...
bro handshake, yeah.
A little more confident, only because her outfit is a little more...
Yeah. Well, also, you haven't had, you haven't had your split tongue down Alice's throat in this version, so you're,
That's true.
you're a little more focused.
I was looking for ale for myself and my companion, hoping to hear the latest.
It's been a while since I've met a new mystery here. Your companion, he kind of bows, charmed, I'm sure. Well,
She'll like nudge her to like do. She's not specific, just like move, do something.
Alice will curtsy.
I see. Well, friend, if you'd like, we can grab an ale, but first, if you don't mind. He sort of steps back. It has been a long time since I've seen a countryman, especially one not known to me, and as the honor of our people dictate, we must cross swords, test our mettle against each other. A fight here.
Well,
let's give the people a show, shall we? He tosses off a sort of coat. Says, "Come, Karos. Let's see what you're made of."
Is this custom here?
I mean,
and suddenly, in this version of the story, it is now a thing that, yes, this is customary. Almost like someone's like preoccupied with like random fights. Wonder why someone writing this would be thinking. Anyway, so Cora, or Corinna, rather. Yeah, you certainly are aware of this kind of like, it's like this is a friendly kind of fight that when drunk mystery males get involved in, sometimes they turn not so friendly. But basically, he just wants to do a little like sparring with you in the street.
Would her staff be able to withstand metal? Like that?
Because your staff is magical, it can stand up to this kind of punishment. I will also mention that you currently have 130 points left. And if you wanted to put some into weapon power, into kind of like a melee weapon like this, you could do so. It's under your physicality.
I would like to.
You're currently at 60. How many would you like to put there?
I will do 20.
20! She makes it an 80. I love it. All right. And so, yes, anyone just joining us, by the way, we have sort of a policy here where they didn't complete their characters at the outset, so they have a bunch of points, and I'm letting people add as they come to situations, kind of, because I think that's sort of fun. So, you sort of grab your staff, prepare. You turn to Alice. Do you say anything to her?
Just stand off a bit. Don't wander off for anything. I believe I can handle this. I'm quite adept.
Are you safe? Is this like fencing? Like you've got something?
Oh well, no. There's no fence. You just.
I mean, are
in the square?
Are you potentially going to be injured?
Potentially, but it's all in good fun. It's very respectable. It's not to kill. Sometimes to slice, but mostly just to prevent the other one from being able to hit you again. But I think I've got this. Just stand over there. be safe, and we'll see how this goes. Don't worry, I grew up very well trained, and she'll go to assume the position and say, unfortunately, I've lost my sword, but this will do. And she'll start to do like a traditional bow that she was probably taught at court, and then catch herself and do the male little flourish I learned in my travels.
Can I detect vibe of this other guy and feel like if I trust him or not?
You may absolutely detect. You can do a read person on him, which you have already improved a fair, or you've already put some points into. So please make a read person.
Ooh, that's 28.
A 20.
That's a hard success.
28, a hard success. Very good. You do not, in a thing that you don't know, but Louise might, where she should read it. Like, he seems to have, like, rewritten this guy. He's not going to be so much of a chauvinistic guy. He's just going to be kind of like a typical pulp magazine. Like, a lot of times the main character beats, like, a devil may care sort of, you know.
Just a lot of bluster.
He's very blustery. I will say, however, with you got a hard success on this with a 28.
Yes.
I will say with a hard success, and given some of your own areas of expertise, this man is a devil with a sword. This guy is incredibly good at fighting. So you think that for Corinna, you think there's almost no chance of Corinna winning this fight? So if it is a friendly fight, she's just going to lose and it's going to be fine?
Corinna, before you go out there, I know that I am a stranger in a strange land.
I'm gonna pause you here. You'll have to like run and interrupt the duel because Corinna's already started the thing.
Already out there.
You notice this as he like draws, and you're like, uh-oh. So if you want to run over and tell her this, you certainly can.
Yeah, I'm gonna run over there and just wave my hands and be like, sorry. I just need to give her a favor. Is that a thing here?
A favor? In the middle of the street? That seems a little strange, but I won't judge.
It's a custom where she's from.
Yes. So, I think he's going to win. I know you're very adept, but I'm very good at. We have a similar kind of sport on my planet. I think it's very likely that you're going to lose. So, maybe lose quickly and soften the blow.
Fair enough. Okay. Just bow deeply now. I'm so sorry.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And she'll like, Corinna will like touch her cheek and nod and just like be like, okay.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Now, as you can see, I don't have my sword, so all in good fun.
Oh.
Right?
Well, if you'd rather fight with a blade, no worries.
Oh, this is fine. Thank you. Oh god, now I'm nervous.
So he just rushes forward to fight. Please go ahead and make your roll with your. So this is your melee weapon, or your weapon power under physicality. Just roll for weapon power.
That is a 29.
A 29. Ooh, a hard success. Great. Okay. Do you want me to go with your hard success, or would you like me to have him roll with all the stuff he has? Typically, sometimes for NPC, like for major fights, I'll roll 2. Since this is probably the only fight today, I can roll as well.
I would like to go with mine.
You want to go with yours?
Yeah.
All right, so you rush forward and do a very impressive, like, you know, sort of flourish, and he'll sort of block you, and your hard success, but it quickly becomes apparent that this guy is much better than you, and not only that, but as he's rolling against you, he is both fighting circles around you. You know, you're doing like you're blocking a lot of stuff, and it's way too late that you realizes that he has not even started. Like your impressive stuff, he is not exerting himself at all. You were gonna need higher than a hard to beat this guy. As he's just better, he's kind of like impressive. But the trouble here is that he realizes that the staff you are using to fight is not a normal staff. So as he's fighting, he says, "Friend, you are almost worthy of crossing swords with me, but I have to say, I'm quite intrigued by the nature of your... This wouldn't be a quaternary scepter, perhaps?" When he says that, you know that he suspects that he can tell that he is up against sort of a science sorcery scepter.
What are the... What is the current lore that we're working with the science sorcery?
Science sorcery is a rather ancient form of science magic that the Mystery used, 1,000 years ago, when they were in power.
And it's only rumored that it still exists currently,
only rumored
right?
it still exists now. Obviously, other Mystery might be experts on it, but the trouble for you now is that not only is he easily about to win this fight, but he also recognizes that there's something special about you. You have some science sorcery around you. He asks if it's a quaternary, which I think is the one... I said the right thing, right? Because you have a tertiary scepter, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
right?
on.
Am I crazy? Yeah, you have a tertiary scepter, so he's assuming... He's like, what? You have a quaternary scepter, which is like the even less, He's assuming you have like a 4th tier, but you actually have a 3rd tier, which is even better. Yeah.
So she'll say, "Oh, if only they still existed," right? She's like probably getting tired.
Yeah, you're doing a very worthy effect. Like you are up against like if this guy were anyone, if this guy were just a normal if this were just a guard or even like a mercenary, you'd be fine. But this guy's like fighting circles around you now, and the trouble is he both knows, and you say, if only this still existed. He kind of gives you a little chuckle. And as he sort of spins around, he even like puts a hand on the staff and like as if kind of confirming it as he sort of throws you about. But then he says, "No matter. I won't be taking your weapon. I will, however, have to claim your doublet." And as he sort of begins to move his sword to like slice off like Corinna's kind of like chest piece or something that he's gonna, like take a shirt. Alice, you know that Corinna is now losing, and this guy fighting her is going to be, as his prize, like removing her shirt, basically, like stealing her shirt, which might lead to some information you're trying to hide getting out. So now, Alice, you have a chance to intercede if you'd like to. And I'll tell you what, Alice, to start off, would you please give me a luck roll? If you want to, you could give yourself a bonus on this roll before you make it by spending one of your power.
How does the bonus work again? Because I never do it.
Oh, understood. If you roll a bonus, you get to roll the tens die twice and use the lower one.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and do this.
Cool. I will charge you 1 power and go for it, so make the roll.
Okay. That's a luck roll. Where's my...
Your luck is 56.
Okay. All right. So it's not bad, but let's see if we can get lower.
Cool.
Oh, okay. 34.
A 34. Unfortunately, you can't spend luck to make the luck lower and wind up with a 28. But with a success, you look around. We're going to say that with a normal luck success, a hard success, I would have said, hey, look, there's a fencing foil right next to you, just like the kind you use on Earth. There's not that. But what there is nearby is a lightweight but looks strong, and so it's like it would function pretty much like an epee, like the sword you use. There is one of those sitting right next to you. It's like a big wrench for some kind of machinery. So if you wanted to, you could go and try to fence this guy. You could intercede. Understood. So we're going to do one more little thing on your sheet. This is another part of the rules you've never gotten into. For custom weaponry, I'm actually carrying this over from the Star Wars thing. If you'd like to, you could spend some of your points to on so that it's if you're ever using this kind of weapon, you'll get additional bonuses on it if you'd like to. You would need to spend I think 50 in this system to do this, so you have 265 left, but if you're willing to spend 50 of those, you will not only have a 99 in epee, but you will also gain a bonus every time you use it.
I have to use 50 of my...
You have to use 50 of your
talent.
points, but you will be an incredible swordswoman.
Yeah, let's add that in.
All right. So with swords, you go up to 99. You will turn it to a thing, and if you'd like to, you can rush forward against this guy. Blade, kind of, or whatever will pass for a blade here out.
Yes.
You may rush at him. To intercede, just as and you're kind of coming in just as his blade is dancing to sort of slice open Corinna's sort of shirt to kind of take his prize. You can sort of rush in. So Alice, at this point, will you please roll a sword? At this time, you get an automatic bonus. So roll, like I said there, where you roll both. You don't re-roll the ones column, but you get to roll the tens twice and use the one you want. And it will not turn it into a it won't turn it into a, what's it called? Like, if that would wind up giving you a penalty or a 100, it doesn't, or a fumble, it doesn't do that. Yeah.
Well, first I rolled 71. Then I rolled 1.
1. All right. So suddenly, your heroine. I'm going to. So go ahead and click it because you got that straight. Congratulations. And in addition, I would like for you to roll me a move, which you'll notice you also get a bonus on all the time.
Yes. $33.
33. Excellent. A hard success. And so you've done move, you've done the thing, and the final one, obviously things are going well for you. Please roll an endurance roll. You do get a bonus on this, though.
Oh, goddamn. I have bonus. I just noticed there's one.
Yeah, anything that you have the orange one next to, you get a bonus.
Okay. 57.
57. Ooh, yeah, so that was just so... Okay, so Alice... Okay, perfect. So I should have had to do the move first, because the order of these is this. So Corinna, just as he's coming down and you are worried, suddenly Alice moves with superhuman speed, because remember, here on this planet, with the lower gravity and the different atmosphere, she almost, like, streaks right in front of you and bats his thing away with this wrench. And he says... Oh, something more to your companion, then. Oh, my! And suddenly Alice presses forward with the most just incredible display of swordswomanship you've ever seen. Alice and this guy, over the course of the next sort of, several pages, they are leaping up onto carts and sort of fighting here. They're jumping onto rooftops. She leaps incredibly. He manages to parry here, that, whatever. She is doing the most amazing version of this that you've ever seen, and eventually their swords are so evenly matched it comes down to it effectively doesn't come to the endurance of it. And with the endurance that she rolls, eventually, as the two of them are fighting, I know that a lot of times in TTRPGs, what you want is to roll every single beat of these, but in this game, it's much more sort of story focused. So they just roll once to see how the fight goes, and this is how the fight goes. So basically, Corinna, you're just sitting here watching as Alice, almost as if she's like a defender who's been brought to you. Defends your sort of honor as she leaps across and does this, and the two of them have this like amazing, it's like a real page turner of a battle. Both also. It does involve Alice. At one point, you punch the guy like right in the face, and so he gets like as you're like he kind of goes back but does it. But eventually, as the two of you continue sort of dueling, the whole town has come out to watch this incredible fight between this alien woman and this sort of mystery swordsman, this Lozos. Alice, with your success in endurance, he yields. You have scored a vital success at the sword, and he has as well. But with his vital success, he will... Now that, as he like wipes his brow, that was a good show. And the town folk all begin to sort of, the people of Vice also begin to clap. He, he says, "Wait, you've been doing this all with a wrench?" He then slices off his own sort of like doublet, like the sort of like the front coat of his thing, and sort of lets it kind of tosses it out to you for you to either catch or just let flutter below you.
Sure, and Alice will go ahead and, since he seems to be in good spirits but doesn't want to risk him being offended, will go ahead and bow as well, as a sign of respect.
Ah, please. You fight like a man. No need for you to bow like a woman. What is your name?
Alice.
Alice. Ah. I am Lozos. He bows again to you. In the sort of courtly way, not the demeanor way you were doing.
In the masculine way.
Yeah. Well, he kind of turns. Well, Karos, your companion is more than meets the eye, and so he kind of like walks over and kind of like, taps on your staff a couple times. Are you?
Yes, well, we'd better be going. My companion, sword teacher, and I, we'll be making our way to the pub, and she'll like try to like grab Alice to like go toward it.
Oh, then, and your drinks are on me, of course. I have been bested, and to be honest, I couldn't be happier about it. Well done. I think the three of us could do impressive things together. There are some, in fact, there are, my friend, some opportunities if you're willing to. If you're interested in making a little coin, having a bit of adventure, using these impressive abilities.
Possibly. Let's talk about it over ale. Because I'm supposing in mystery culture, and so here's what I'm assuming.
Sure.
She thought she knew about mystery culture, but she only knew about high
culture. Sure. Like, she was familiar with the idea of these honor duels, but like the way this worked was very different. Yeah, sure.
Very,
yeah.
And
also she's like, okay, I guess like if you lose, you have to go have a drink with them or something. Because these probably normally happened at balls or whatever, so they would... She'll like lean over to Alice and be like, I'm trying to figure this out, I'm so sorry.
I'm just, I'm good. I'm not used to being that good, so I'm a little...
It was amazing. We'll talk about it later, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really, we're totally earned that gold medal. So, as you guys come in, he goes, and if you have asked for ale, he comes back to the table with like 6 different tankards of ale, and sort of is pointing out, let's see, that's the Svalman brew, here's I also got us some mystery rum, of course, here's the Case Gid stuff, here's the Case Gid Golden, this is what they call an interstellar pale ale, or an IPA. This is, he's kind of just going through the options for you.
Can I like smell or taste to see which one is like the lowest alcohol level?
Ooh, make a smell roll. It's under your vitality. If you sort of sniff them all, smell, taste. It's kind of all the same.
37.
Great. Yeah, you can tell that the who would have the least alcoholic.
Probably the IPA.
You know what? We'll say that it is the Chrysene. Yes, the Chrysene's brew is the least alcoholic.
She'll grab that one and slide it over to Alice.
Good.
I don't drink a lot, but some hooch sounds real good right now.
To the duel and the winner, and she'll go to.
Oh, of course. Haha, yes. To the duel. To something impressive. I was not ready for such a fight, and it was full of surprises in many ways. So, my friends, are you looking to make fortune? Earn some treasures?
Potentially, but I'm looking for information.
Ah, information. Make a luck roll, please, Karina.
Okay.
Alice is getting a little giggly because usually she has to get this stuff out of her bathtub.
Oh my god. Oh, they just sell it here? Oh, this is crazy. What's 62. The password? 62. He sort of thinks. There was an information broker I once knew, but he is... Well, he's He's no longer among the living, if you understand.
Ah, yes.
So sadly, I don't have a good lead on information. I suppose you'd want to go to one of the capital cities if you really wanted to get the dirt on something or someone.
Well, perhaps you could tell me something. You seem to be intrigued by magic of sorts. Have you heard of interdimensional or intergalactic travel by any chance?
I'm gonna make a luck roll for him, but before I do that, I have to roll to see what his luck will be. How high a luck guy this will be. That is so fitting. I just rolled. Okay.
No.
I rolled so high.
Oh.
Because he's a lucky guy. He should be. I rolled like 60. 16 is that's 80. His luck is 80. His starting luck's 80. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
He definitely rolls under his luck. He says, well, as it happens, I do know a bit about intergalactic. There is a swordsman, a powerful swordsman. He comes from another world. Perhaps the same world as you. I never saw his face. He keeps his body completely covered in his sort of strange armor he wears. He's the only man who's ever bested me when life was on the line, but I survived. Well, that's a story for another time. The point is, mystery is the name of that. I won't be the mystery swordsman. Let's see.
We're naming now? Yeah.
Okay, I got the first two letters and I'm running with this. Because it's two different things. It's gonna be this name will mean something in multiple ways. The Dread Swordsman. That's what they call him.
Liv, did you hear that?
Dread Swordsman?
I was just making sure. Oh god. Okay. Where can we find this Dread Swordsman?
If you really want to go against him.
Well, not against him, just...
Oh, if you're trying to get anything out of him, you'll have to go against him. He's a wicked, horrible man, but he has certainly come from... He's traveled across the stars without even the typical case-geared ships. Or
Traveled
starports.
across the stars?
Indeed. The Dread Swordsman is a fearsome presence. I don't know precisely where he is, but I know where, well, very little fills me with fear. But I must confess that if you decide to go after him, I don't know that I, right now, am ready for a rematch. That being said, if he kind of turns to Alice and says, Alice, if you have a killer instinct to match your impressive athleticism, you might be able to go toe-to-toe with him.
Well, I don't want to go knocking anyone off. That's not exactly something that we do. What do you mean by killer instinct?
Well, there's two sides to swordplay. One is, of course, he draws and whips his blade around. Technique, which you have in as much as the stars above, like me. But there's another side to swordplay as well. You were wearing me down. We were fighting, but both of us were keeping ourselves in control. Neither of us were trying to slay the other.
Right.
But when I need to, I can see red, as if the moon above me has turned to match my rage, and I can begin to slice with no compulsion, no compunction, with nothing but cruel efficiency. And if you wish to beat the Dread Swordsman, that is what you'll require.
Well, I'm not looking to put anyone in a wooden kimono over here. I
A
just...
wooden kimono is that device that can beat him.
No, it's a coffin, a box you put dead people in.
Ah, I see.
I don't
Yes,
think you
I heard
kill
people
him.
have strange.
A coffin I am familiar with the
rituals.
concept of. Well, if you wish to find him, Dread Swordsman is said to occupy the fortress of Surly Hope.
Is that familiar to me?
Roll a. Let's have you make a navigate. See if it's something where you can understand where it is.
Nope, 86. Now I'm failing.
You have no idea where the Fortress of Surly Hope would be.
Okay. And would this dread swordsman be able to provide passage or just information?
The Dread Swordsman is someone who has done what it is you seek to do. So perhaps you could get passage of him, perhaps you could best him, but I urge you, he's a villain. A true villain. But one who has done the thing you speak of.
How do we get to him?
To go to the Fortress of Zurli Hope, you'll have to cross the Mantis Marshes. Not too far from Vaiche. You could travel overland or book a ship. The Mantis Marshes, of course, are not to be traveled lightly, but I suspect you have more tricks than I realize at your disposal. If you don't want to come on a fun adventure and you're set on doing something like this, I can recommend provisioning people who could help you set out on your quest. But I urge you, think carefully about if you want to take on the Devil Swordsman himself.
I think that this is something that we will keep in mind for a future adventure. And she'll look at Alice to. Okay.
Well,
But in the interim, any word about Tinnerval?
So that's the planet you're on.
Or right. Any
What do you?
trying to think.
Yeah. What would you want word on? Like the ancient mystery civilization, Mystrios, or what? What do you want word on?
To ask about though.
Indeed.
I don't know.
Are you I guess I'm asking if you just want to say something logical, we can say that you've done that. But is it like what kind of thing are you looking for? I guess that's my question.
I'm just trying to look this whole time I've been trying to figure out if anybody's on her trail.
Ah, understood. You could ask him about the druids then. You could ask him about the Kaysgid druids.
I will do that.
There we go. Okay. The druids have been active of late. One was through here not too long ago.
Ah.
I suppose something has been in the air. The two of you are perhaps of more interest to the Kaysgid than your humble appearances would belie. Are you trying to seek the druids or avoid them?
Just looking for the information that's on the wind, so to speak.
They're around. They're interested in something.
Any idea what specifically?
One hears rumors, of course. I believe that some deal, some arrangement. There are many such things, I don't know the details, but something has gone wrong, and the possibility of a more prolonged war or action on their part might be in the offing. There is someone. How do I phrase this? Karos, do you know anything? Because there's someone who might be interested in what you had to know, provided you were interested in supporting not the druids.
What information would I have?
You could tell them about what you witnessed.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing from the first
thinking.
episode. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure
Totally.
what would have leverage here.
Mm-hmm.
I may have some information about something suspicious happening over in name of city.
So you're kind of back here. Oh. Well, if you'd like, I could make an introduction. This is not an information broker. This is a interested party, let's call them.
Fine. That would be appreciated. We can wait word from you. Again, we'll stay at the inn here. And she'll look around and see if it's also an inn, or if there's
the hall is not an inn. The hall is more like a meeting place. But there are certainly inns around. You could find one without issue.
Okay.
Understood. If you have information that would harm the druids, I can get you in touch with people who would appreciate it and could reward it as necessary.
Can I detect his vibe, and can I also add 20 to my detect vibe?
So you would roll. It's not detect vibe. Detect vibe is more about the room. This is read person.
Oh, right. I would like to increase read person.
Okay. I think you already have. You're at a 75.
I already raised it. Never mind.
Cool.
Okay, but I will read him to see if he's shady. 47. So
47?
regular.
A success, yes. He is. You get the impression that the mystery don't like the Kaysgid they don't like them because they replaced your civilization a long time ago. So you doubt you have almost no suspicion that this guy's going to sell you out to the druids. That's not. It's if you have something that'll hurt the druids, he's cool.
Okay.
Whether or not this is somehow benefiting him or part of some scheme of his, very likely. But you don't think he's going to send you to a trap.
Okay.
Here, yeah.
Fair enough. Very well. Are there any discreet inns in the area?
Indeed. I can direct you to a few. There's even an inn that, well, doesn't seem to be an inn if you're really trying to lay low.
No. And she'll look at Alice I'm sorry.
Wait, did you say no to that? You don't want that?
That seemed sexual.
Oh no, he meant like a safe house. If you're trying to not exist.
Meant a brothel.
No. He's saying he's sorry. Yes, no. He's saying there's even a place you could stay that would not be known to the authorities.
Oh, okay. Yes, that would be appreciated. Not that we're running from anything. I just want to make sure that I get this information to the appropriate parties.
Very well. I'll make some arrangements. Let's see. He probably will. We'll sort of hand wave this, but he will he's bought all this ale. He actually will lead you guys out of this place, and he'll walk you through the streets. There is you're sort of coming through there's a crowded Chrysene sort of restaurant where there's very sort of loud, huge crowds, everybody moving through. He sort of passes you past that. There's also some kind of workshop or factory where they seem to be making a lot of fabrics. He sort of leads you through that, and as you're sort of walking sort of in these kind of very almost you're getting to almost an industrial district, he's just walking down kind of a road, and he just turns into an alley and sort of like leads you both there. And in the alley, there's like a big pile of, like there's a bunch of just, broken carts and crates and things. And he sort of slips a hand behind those and reveals as he pulls it out that those are all on a swinging sort of like door. And behind there is a hidden sort of passage. He gestures you two to go in and follows you in. And eventually you find yourself in like a small, very kind of just like not well kept, sort of like sitting room with like a little desk. He rings for help, and eventually a person comes out. It is another Busico, another one of like the sort of Cyclops like people. And she'll sort of approach and say, "Oh, you again. I'm not staying here myself, but this gentleman here and his lady companion require," she says, "Well, I prefer for ladies and gentlemen to stay in separate rooms for decorum, but, he's, oh, come on, please. You know how the mystery are." He puts an arm around Karos. Right?
All right.
"Well, what do I care about proper decorum?" And she just kind of, and she hands you guys a key. Says, "Room 4. Sorry about the noise."
Quite all right. Thank you. And so she'll look at, what's his name? Laszlo?
Lazos. Lazos.
She'll look at Lazos and say, "Well, you know where to find us."
Indeed. I'll be back before too long, I'm sure. Otherwise, just try not to draw any attention when you're coming in here, if you decide to go out. Although, why would you? He says, gesturing to Alice. And heads out. The Siku goes, "These people, oh dear." So yeah, you guys can head back to your room if you'd like.
Okay, she'll open the door, and then like when Alice is in, she'll close it, and she'll pull out her staff and say, Will you just stand there for a second? I just want to see something." And she'll like wave it like around her.
What?
And what is happening?
The staff is thrumming pretty intensely.
Can I hear it thrumming?
I think you can. I'm gonna actually, Corinna. I want you to once again make a science sorcery roll. You can use your atmospheria for this though, which is a lot higher.
26.
26. That's a hard success.
Yes.
You once again begin to get the impression that your staff and Alice are connected. You sense science sorcery around her, your own science sorcery. Based on how she arrived, you are beginning to think that your staff brought her here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You didn't know that this time. You knew that last time. Yeah.
Yeah. But so like, and there's nothing that happens when I'm holding my sword and I'm touching her, right? Because that's been happening. So I'm assuming
You've touched her, but you both haven't touched the staff yet.
That's true.
Also, you do think maybe you should show her the staff in its true form.
Okay. Don't be scared, but I've got a costume on, and so does this, and she'll change it back.
And now what you see is it's kind of like, the tertiary sort of scepter. It's polished ore with glass vacuum tubes all around it. So it's kind of like it can like have a disguise to look like other things. So it's kind of like shiny metal with glass vacuum tubes that it seems to be like thrumming kind of with you both here.
How?
Oh, it's my people are connected to the environment in a very special way, and this is a part
of that connection, and I'm starting to suspect that perhaps that connection is what brought you here. However, the question is, why did you come to me? Do you understand?
Kinda, not really.
Well, neither do I, but just another mystery, so to speak.
You,
Wordplay.
you do think that perhaps, perhaps Alice should clasp the staff.
Okay. I will. Why don't you grab hold of it?
Sure. Guess it's the least funny thing I've done since I got here.
As the two of you hold the staff together, it begins to thrum, and suddenly you find yourselves transported to the cosmos. You're both floating there, both holding the staff in this kind of it's this kind of strange astral vision. Decidedly non-sexual. As you're sort of floating here, though, you see like the stars shining down through both of you. Corinna, I don't want, this game is weird because there are times where I kind of do want to dictate what things you say, but like as you two are sort of feeling this and like you're feeling like pure starlight like shining down on you and like seeing this strange thing as you're both holding the staff, Corinna, you probably say, do you remember what you said last time when you were kissing in this situation?
I think there's something special between us.
And as you say that, Ted stops typing for the day. So with that, as Ted stops typing, he's got like melted ice all over his, he's just whatever. He'll kind of nod to Cora and say, these are, I think this is all ready to go. Where the hell's Louise? She didn't come in today?
Oh, she had a late night, so, I think she's probably relaxing.
Bliss says, she had a late night. I haven't seen any new cover for this. He goes, there's plenty in here. There's a fun thing with the girls and the stars at the end. It's a good thing. Cora, when you hear that, you remember that ending, so you realize he's like rewriting stuff. Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I read the stuff that you... Because I know that some writers are precious about their stuff, and I'm so invested in the story so far. I think it's wonderful.
He kind of like smirks for a second. Make a read person roll. Just roll your flat thing. I'm sorry, it should be higher. I know it's fine.
No, it's okay. No, that's a 6.
6?
I thought it was a 9.
He has this smirk on his face for a moment that's like, sister, if you only knew what happened in the story that I threw away yesterday. But he's like, yeah, sure. And he goes, yeah, sure. I mean, I assume you're reading it. That's your job, right? All right, I'll see you tomorrow. I gotta get home and... gotta get home.
Well, take care. Don't get in any more fights.
He doesn't say anything. He kind of pauses, almost looks at you and leaves. So, with that, Cora, you can begin reading a new version of the story. One I'm sure you'll sort of tell Louise all about, or she'll read, when she's in tomorrow to paint more. But that is where we'll end tonight's session, or today's session. So we had a very different energy to advance the plot in a different direction.
Yes.
That also involved Alice doing a huge sword fight.
And then ducking under the table because she was very drunk. I apologize, everyone. My computer was making noises, and I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And I was like, this just looks real weird.
I was actually gonna comment on it, but then I was like, maybe her speaker's not working or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, she keeps going under the table. I told her to do that. It's well, thanks everybody for watching. If you'd like to watch more of what we do, go to our YouTube. We have all our old episodes there, or you can watch them here on Twitch. You can go to our Discord to do some fun interactive stuff with us, or you can go to our wiki to read about all the stuff going on that you would find in a wiki. I think so far it's mainly Blood from a Stone. Sophia's been plugging away at that. We have other games on tomorrow. We have a Lost Lore Academia special, Study Abroad. We're going to be following Connor to see what he's been up to this summer. On Friday, we have Blood from a Stone, where you'll see, I believe this week, you'll see both of these wonderful humans, along with a bunch of other people. I think we'll have a bunch of people this week, and then Dan is out. On Sunday, we are back with Here Be Dragons. And then on Monday, we have the season finale of Third Time's the Charm, our sitcom game. Unless everyone doesn't make it, and then it'll take 2 more weeks because the next week's Labor Day. Which there's no way I can get those people there for Labor Day. And then 1 week from today at 4 p.m. here on Tuesday, you can find us for more Strange Lore to see the further adventures of Corinna and Alice and Cora and Louise. So
and we will have our character sheets ready, so we don't have
you'll
to
have character sheets, so you can kind of do. Yeah, it'll be more complicated for everyone. Don't you worry. With that, do you guys want to plug anything or say anything?
No.
Fair enough. You know what? Just follow them on their names here are their socials for everything. Just follow them for all the things they do. They're
One day I'll
wonderful
have things to plug.
Indeed. Okay, calm down, children. Well, thank you all for watching. This was fun. Until next time, to be continued. Woo. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.